If you look anywhere on the internet, if you look at anybody that's talking about what they think Avengers Secret Wars could be about, you're bound to see like 15 theories at any given time because everybody has a different version of what they think is going to happen. I'm going to talk about what I think could happen, and that's that the Secret Wars film will be the MCU characters versus the Fox X-Men universe. So just to start this off, I'm not saying I know anything or I'm pretending to know anything or have any scoops or inside knowledge like some people try to sell people on their, whatever pages you got to pay for, clicks or their Twitters or their websites or videos or whatever. I'm just kind of looking at what we know in the public eye and kind of trying to form a theory, if you will. So nothing that I say here in terms of how I think they're going to get there or what they're doing has any basis of, oh my God, I know the secret in, right? Sometimes when I talk about stuff, I will state, hey, I've heard this, so take it for what it's worth, but this is not one of those cases. What we know for a fact is that Fox contracts that were signed by specific stars during the, Fox tenure on the X-Men are still having to be honored to some degree. So you can either cast a new actor to play Magneto, and then you have to pay out Michael Fassbender whatever his fee was, and we believe it could have been upwards of $10 million for an appearance. So what are you to do? Pay an actor to do a new take on Magneto, or bring back Michael Fassbender and honor that contract, and then you have a clean slate. So what I'm saying is, what if we're all looking at Secret Wars as a giant mashup of everything, but we're kind of looking at it in a wrong way? Because think about it. If all these incursions are happening, Deadpool is escaping, the TVA is involved, they're going in a completely different direction where by the end of it, we could have a restored one sacred timeline. So everybody's got to fight for the survival of their universes, right? So all the Fox contracts, which are many, estimated to be about a dozen, if not more, would some way have to be used. And people suspect, oh, they're just going to use them all in Secret Wars. Okay, that makes sense. But what if we put a spin on Secret Wars that essentially boils down to this is going to be the MCU Avengers versus the Fox X-Men and whoever we establish is on their side. So if we want to bring in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and say he was part of that universe, sure, we can do that. We can kind of stretch it that way, right? Before we say, hey, it's all back to one universe. So essentially, you have them fight each other, and that's kind of the pitch. But at the end, obviously, they all unite and fight whoever the big bad in charge is, probably the Beyonder and Kang. I think it could honestly put an interesting spin on how we view Versus film, much like Civil War did, and I think it would be really interesting. It allows us to catch up with all these characters, put a new spin, put tons of cameos and callbacks, and obviously visit these different universes and characters, and who knows what else they could incorporate. You want to see the Fantastic Four from the old Fox X-Men universe? Well, guess what? They did exist with the X-Men. Here they are teaming up for the survival of their universe. That way, you can bring back Chris Evans as Human Torch. You can also bring back Chris Evans as Captain America in the proper MCU version. So again, there's a little bit of conflict, and this whole multiverse/variant angle would be really interesting. Then you also take some of the Sony characters, Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, Venom, whatever, and you put them in a limbo state where maybe they have to take a side. Ultimately, by the end, of course, everybody's going to win and they can, go off on their merry way and you restore everything. But I think it would be an interesting angle to get people really invested into, more or less at that point, almost 3 decades worth of continuity.